Well, it's Sunday, 30th of July, and I'm just preparing the greenhouse now to put these watermelons in. Now, because we're at the end of July, I don't think there's going to be any fruit on them, or certainly nothing worth eating. But what I'm hoping for is that I get enough fruit to produce some seeds, so that I've got some seeds for next year. My mint has really come up beautifully. That smells lovely and tastes lovely, and there's a few cuttings of that going home with me today. Now we'll get into here. As you can probably see now, this is just some of the stuff that was at the back here. I've cleared out the greenhouse panels, and I've been working on the weeds. So I've got most of the bindweed down. It was wrapped very securely around this bamboo frame. Now I've got a couple more tomato plants in here, the ones in that tray, so I'm thinking maybe I should put them where we get most light, which is here, and put the watermelons fairly close to each other along that end in a separate grow bag, and that way I'll maximise the use of this part of the greenhouse. Obviously those things in the trays now can come out of here, so that panel, that glass panel can come out of here as well, which will give me a proper walkthrough, and I'll be able to use the back door as well as this one. This lot going into the compost, and here, just thought I didn't mention this on my video yesterday, but we've actually got carrots growing again, and that one's got a little bit of a head on it, but maybe you can see there's a few of those in there, and some of these. This one here seems to be putting on the most show. Right. Now when I pulled up the spuds last week, sorry, a bit of a stretch there for me. When I pulled up the spuds last week, I did utilise the soil that they came from. So I planted in 2 buckets here some more carrots, hoping to get some sort of carrots. I've planted a purple variety in one of these buckets. I can't tell you which is which, obviously it will show when they actually fruit, but I just decided to try them, a heritage variety, because of course, as you probably already know, carrots weren't originally orange. It's getting a bit windy out here and there's rain on the way, so I'm going to have to crack on and get back into the shed. Things. Yesterday I tied up most of my tomato plants, but I've got another casualty overnight. One's fallen down here. Hopefully the sunflowers are surviving. The other thing I didn't mention yesterday was that I put some cauliflowers in, so they're along here, stamped on the ground very hard, and made sure the roots have got a nice firm foundation. And the one at the back there, I don't know if you can actually see the one at the back there, that one is almost doubled in size overnight. I mean, that is unbelievable. I expect them to grow, but I didn't expect them to sort of establish and grow quite so quickly. By eckers like, as they say up north. I still haven't discovered what these are. They're obviously a brassica of some sort, but I really haven't got a clue what. I've been enlightened about the flowers and been assured they're not lettuce, so I think I'd already established that. Here, got a little honeybee picking out some pollen to take back to the hive, no doubt. Oh, I love watching these little bees work. Now he's taken off and he's away. Right. the radishes are growing very quickly, so I'll be pulling another crop of those very soon. And over there we've had a bit of rain, so I'm expecting to see some sort of growth coming here. I have put more beetroot, oh there we are, beetroot seeds in. There we go, some beetroot coming up there. Trouble is you've got weeds coming up as well, and you've got to be able to distinguish between weeds and crops, and I'm not always very good at that. By golly, I seem to be alone down here today, although Tony is up the other end of the plot. He's got work to do in his own area. Thank you, little bumblebee. There we go, a bumblebee and a honeybee sharing the same flower head. Don't often see them together, but they seem to be getting on quite well. Well, it's nice to see them pollinating the sunflowers, because I had a bit of a disaster with my tallest one, but now I've secured that one so it doesn't fall over, and hopefully it will stay up and continue providing pollen for the bees. I got my first jar of honey from the plot today. They very generously gave all of us one each. It's only a small jar, but it's a good start, and I can't wait to get home and try it. Lots of tomatoes, as I said. What I want to do now is get them to start going red. These look like a cherry variety on here. Well, not a cherry, probably moneymaker actually, looking at the size of the fruit at the bottom. The ones at the top are quite small. I saw a very disturbing video yesterday from one of my regular YouTube friends, Grow and Tell. Unfortunately she's got tomato blight, and it's made me keep an eye out, because there are a couple of growers on the plot here who have also got tomato blight. And the danger with tomato blight is it can spread to potatoes, so I've got to watch it. I've still got potatoes in the ground. I really don't want blight. This wind's blowing a howling gale here. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll catch up later on when I've got a little bit more to report. Ground to a halt at the moment. We've got some quite heavy rain coming down. You'll probably hear it on the roof, and I've cleared some space in the greenhouse. I've got rid of most of the bindweed, still little bits that I've got to get. What I'm going to do next is soak the ground where the growing bags are going to go. Slow it down a little bit, it's still raining, but if you look in here, right, it's certainly a lot better, eh? All done with the manual pulling of weeds. Obviously I've left a few bits of leaf and things in there, but I'm going to absolutely soak this ground here, and then once it's soaked I'm going to get a couple of those grow bags. I've got plenty of them. Lay them along the bottom, and up this end I'm going to put those tomato plants and that tomato plant. Oops, getting a bit windy out there. And up this end here I'm going to put the watermelons. As I said, I don't expect much in the way of fruit this year, but it'd be nice if I can get some seeds to get started next year. Still a few bits of this stuff still hanging about. It gets everywhere, doesn't it? I mean, it absolutely wraps itself around everything. Good old bindweed, eh? The rest of the stuff in here is just, on the top it's just grass. That can come out no problem at all. I did get my hand stung by a stinging nettle down here this morning as well, so I decided to wear my gloves to do the rest. Yeah. You wouldn't believe I watered those tomatoes an hour ago. And now the soil at the base of them is bone dry again. Can't believe how much it soaks up all the water. Same with those ones. I think I'm going to give them all a good soaking before I start moving anything. There we go. I had two beautiful cherry tomatoes at home this morning, taking off my mini greenhouse plant, and they were so sweet. They were about this size here, and they were tender and sweet. None of those leathery skins that you get on the commercially grown ones. Actually tasted beautiful. Didn't have to spit the skin out because it wasn't getting stuck in my teeth, and thoroughly enjoyed. Wish this rain would ease off just a little bit so I can go out and get some water. Sounds a bit ironic, doesn't it? But I really want to put 2 or 3 what do you call it, watering can fulls down here, soak this soil, and then I'm going to put the grow bags on top of it and soak them. So let's crack on, eh? When it rains, there's only one thing to do, and that's to have a lovely brew of coffee. Pure black Java. None of your instant stuff on this allotment, eh? Listen to that rain. It's torrential, as they say, torrential. Absolutely persisting down. Oh well. Relax, have a coffee, and hopefully it'll be clear. Just to update you, I've cleared that space in the greenhouse now. I've put 2 growing bags in there. I soaked the ground, and then I've just been and soaked the growing bags. So when the rain stops and I can get back to the greenhouse, I will go in there and plant some tomatoes and some watermelons, and hopefully they'll do something. Right. Dear me. They said blustery showers. I reckon that's what we got. Back later. Well, there we are, 2 growing bags in situation, and I'm just making my mind up now. I think we're going to put the tomatoes at this end, and to give the melons a chance to produce anything, I'm going to stick them here, and I'm going to put half a grow bag there to finish them off, and we'll see how they go from there. Right, there's the melons at the moment, and they're looking quite strong. So these are the ones that survived after the 3rd sowing, because the snails and the slugs basically devoured everything I had. Everything's late this year because of that, but I'm prepared for next year. They will not catch me out when I plant my seedlings next year. I can't believe this. I watered this morning. I took a video of it half an hour, 45 minutes ago, and it was bone dry, so I watered it again, and I'm looking at the soil now, and it's soaked it up. Now each of these growing bags has had a gallon of water, and on this side I've put 4 gallons of water in the bed itself, and a gallon in each of these growing bags. And if you look, you can actually see where it's drying out already. So I think I'm going to give them each another gallon. I always like to soak my growing bags before I put anything in them. Gives the chance, or gives the plants a chance to get going. And I have actually left the skylight open, because although it's a funny old day, it is actually quite warm in here. I would say that in the greenhouse it's probably in the region of about 35. Outside it's more like 18 to 20 degrees, so it really does make things get a bit hotter. Right, so the next time you see this, there should be some plants in here. Back later. Well, here we go. I have now got my watermelons planted, and I've taken the tomatoes out of the trough and put them into the growing bags as well. Right, you'll notice I've split the bags wide open, and that's because despite 3 lots of watering today, the water doesn't seem to be getting into the growing bags. So when I was watering it, I was noticing there was more coming up and rolling onto the outside than there was actually going into the bags themselves. So I decided to split the bags wide open to facilitate easier watering, and that way it should make sure there's plenty of water getting to the roots. I stuck one of the melons up here. It's higher up than all the others. It will get a bit more daylight. Let's see how she develops. All of these tomatoes are flowering at the moment, so you might get 1 or 2 trusses on them. I don't expect miracles, but I've already got lots and lots of tomatoes. These ones are all money makers, so they should go well. There's a little bit of leaf scorch down there, and I've checked, there's no sign of blight on it, and the tomatoes themselves are looking pretty healthy. So I don't know what's causing that. That's probably where they got watered erratically and scorched in between, bearing in mind that I've spent a lot of time off from the plot this year, having had to go for various medical procedures. Still a few to go, but at least I'm able to get down the plot a little bit more often, and this week I've managed to put in about 14 hours down the plot, which is a lot more than I expected to be able to do. I was going to get some spuds out today, but it's hammering down, so I won't mess with those. I'll leave them till next time. Here we go. I'm just about to wash up my cup in my coffee machine and put away my cooker and head for home. But at least I can do so in the knowledge that these are now planted in the greenhouse, and that bed underneath it is pretty well cleared of bindweed. I've still got to get some out from under there, but I'll do that when the weather's better, because I need to get at it from the outside. There we go, time to go home. So can you hear that rain? It's absolutely persisting. There we go. Bye for now.